great. Everyone's logging in for our big special news. Mics are live though.
Good morning and welcome to Midlands Gives Day 2023. I am here with Erin Johnson,
Good morning.
Central Carolina Community Bank Location Vice President for Community Investment and Joint Interest, and I have the great honor of leading this organization. Today is our 10th anniversary. 10 years ago, we were sitting in our office in Middleburg Plaza in our conference room, hoping that someone would make a donation to this thing, Midlands Gives, online day of giving, that no one had heard of before. That first year, we had 151 nonprofits participating, and we raised a whopping $750,000.
That really is a big accomplishment, though, for a new initiative that no one had ever heard of.
No one had ever heard
Yeah.
of. We had one In Good Company Network, AFLAC. They stood up and said, we're going to provide a prize, so hence the Power Hours were born.
Yes.
And now,
That was ingenious. The power hours were ingenious. I think that was crucial to the first year.
they were. And now you have all these texts and emails from folks saying, this is our Power Hour. Give from 7 o'clock to 7:59 or give from 6 p.m. to 6:59.
Yep.
But gosh, we've raised $19.7 million.
Before we started this year. Now we have, we've well surpassed that. Yeah.
Yes, we have. We're
Yes.
well over.
Yes.
And in fact, we're well over $1 million for this Midlands Gives already.
Yes.
And in fact, the leaderboard says $1,191,999.
Somebody go ahead and get that up to the.
Yeah, get that up to the 1.2.
Yes.
Give that up to the 1.2, and we will. One of the reasons our numbers are so high is thanks to the generosity of so many folks who have provided matches for their nonprofit organizations. Because a match, gosh, if I know my dollar is going to be double,
That's right.
I'm going to give more.
Right, and a lot of nonprofits have matches, so if you were to go and look on their profile, you could see exactly how much they've secured from other donors off the site. So these are donors that they have on their own that are giving directly to their organization that will match your dollars 1-to-1, which is a great boost because everyone loves to be able to say, well, I might have given $50, but now it's $100 to this organization, and that goes a long way. So our nonprofits have done a great job working closely with their regular donors, their everyday donors, their big donors, to be able to provide matches.
Absolutely. And for folks who have never given on Midlands Gives, how many of you have ordered something on Amazon?
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
All
Yeah,
the time.
Yeah.
It's the same concept. So you simply go on to midlandsgives.org. You can browse by category, animals education, human services. You can take a look by county. You can choose Black-led and Black benefiting. And you put those nonprofits that you want to support into your shopping basket. One easy peasy checkout. You can elect to pay for the credit card fee.
Yeah.
And boom, done. You are a philanthropist.
That's right. It's that easy. $10 is all it takes to be a philanthropist. But we know there's other ways to be a philanthropist as well. We'll talk about that at some point but today really is about giving, hopefully a little bit of your resources, what you've earned in life to be able to give back to our community. But you also, when you're on there, can offer to also give some of your time. So there is the option to check off, I'd like to volunteer for this organization, which is so needed right now with our nonprofits. Ever since the pandemic, our nonprofits have lost their volunteers, which we totally understand. People were not comfortable coming into someone's office, and the nonprofits didn't necessarily want that either. But they really rely on volunteers, and they've lost their volunteers. And so now being able to say, hey, I'm ready now to be back in community with people, to helping out with my actual time, they really need that. So if that's something that you can give, please consider that.
Absolutely, and there's so many different options to give. So today is the time for you to give your treasure,
Yes.
your time,
Yes.
your talent, and your testimony.
Today is a perfect day for testimony. So some of you have probably heard time, talent, treasure. There's also another way to give, and it's through your testimony. And that's by being able to lend your voice, being able to lend your sort of credibility to another organization. So being able to maybe post on your social media channels that says, hey, this is the organization that I support, and this is why, this is the difference they're making. Maybe being able to use quotes from you in some of their social media posts. But being able to really vouch for that organization is really being able to provide your testimony, and it goes a long way. So I know if there's an organization, well, if one of my good friends says, hey, there's this great organization that I love, and this is why I love them, I'm more likely to give to that organization because you vouched for it, right? For their credibility. So please use your testimony again today to hopefully vouch for some of these organizations to increase giving to those organizations.
Because it's really important. Many of our nonprofits, and we have 572 participating this year.
It's a big number.
Rely on Midlands Gives to provide funding for their essential programs. And when you think about what nonprofits do, they touch every aspect of our life.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
from Pee Wee baseball, and if you ever adopt an animal, or if anyone ever needs free medical care.
Yeah. If you're walking down the river walk, if you're in our lakes, and there are nonprofits who are monitoring all of those things, making our communities safe and livable, and our kids are getting educated and getting taken care of, and our animals. I'm adopting an animal soon, I'm very excited. But these are nonprofits that are helping us with those kind of things.
And
yeah.
they make our community vibrant.
Absolutely.
Think about the museums and the theaters and the art galleries.
Those are all charitable organizations.
All of them are. So think about all of the ways that nonprofits affect in a positive way your life.
Yes.
They improve our livability. They improve the equity of our community. It's fabulous.
Yeah.
It's just fabulous.
Yes.
So, and today, Chris, come on around here. We are joined again with our technology guru, the master of Giving Days, Chris Strub, who is with us again today. So again, we should be glitch-free.
Don't jinx it, but yes.
It is 6:08 a.m.
Right.
So we're on the record.
We're on the record at 6:08. And Chris, I think that you have put together a montage of incredible photos for us throughout the years, because again, we're celebrating all day long until 11:59 Midlands Gives over the years. And if you are in the neighborhood of the Bull Street complex, stop by for our open house. It will run from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. again at the First Space Building in Segra Park. Come by and celebrate 10 years with us. We'll be back in a minute. Chris is going to show us some photos.
The Central Carolina Community Foundation thanks the following in good company businesses for supporting Midlands Gives. Our presenting partner is Dominion Energy. Our champions are AFLAC and Blue Cross Blue Shield of South Carolina. Our supporters are Truist and Southeastern Freight Lines. Our patrons are Schmoyer & Company, LLC, South State Bank, and Nelson Mullins. Our members are Guru, Synovus, and First Reliance Bank. And our media partners are WACH Fox 57, WLTX 19, WIS News 10, ABC Columbia, Grace Outdoor, Lamar, Alpha Media, The State, Free Times, and Cola Today. Check.
That was your one.
Sure.
Oh my gosh, looking at these pictures and going back in time and remembering, at some point we did do live where nonprofits all gathered together, and we were at Segra Park. We were with us throughout the years, and in fact we're going to be joined by Keller Kassam shortly to talk about this, but trips up into the bucket truck, Nephron's elected officials challenge, all types of memories of being a philanthropist and how folks came together. In some of our early years, again, when we were just exploring how philanthropy worked, and we had our board members, and we had celebrations. And again, please do join us today from 4 to 6 p.m. for our 10th anniversary celebration. Again, I'm just fascinated watching these pictures and going back in time. 10 years goes by so quickly, and yet it seems like it's just a moment ago. There's Toby, and our interviews with our staff and these incredible nonprofits who came out to celebrate the day. So again, one of the reasons, as Erin and I shared earlier, that our numbers are so very, very high this year is because we have had incredible generosity displayed through matches. And I am so excited to announce a very big special match at 6 a.m. The Cheerful Giver, who many of our nonprofits know and love, randomly pulled a name to give a 10th anniversary $10,000 prize. And that nonprofit is?
Killingsworth, Inc.
Congratulations,
Yay!
Killingsworth. That is fabulous. $10,000
Yeah.
in honor of our 10th anniversary and in honor of the Cheerful Giver, who believes that everyone is a philanthropist, and it does bring you joy. So that's wonderful.
Yeah.
You know, good way to kick off the
Yeah.
day.
So let's talk a little bit about who the Cheerful Giver is, what their mission is, and their goal really is to encourage other people to give generously and with an open giving heart.
It is.
Yes. And the Cheerful Giver selected a nonprofit that's participated all 10 years in Midlands Gives, and that this is an organization that Cheerful Giver has actually donated to before. And so Killingsworth does incredible work. For those of you who don't know, they are a transition home for women, and it's for women in all sorts of situations. Some of them are just transitioning and need some help financially because they weren't able to stay in their home. Some are coming out of exiting the corrections system. Some maybe are coming out of rehab or drug addiction, alcohol addiction. And some just are exiting some bad situations at home. So they're all different situations. These women come together and live in a home in Richland County, and they really kind of get their lives together again. And Killingsworth does wonderful work, and the Cheerful Giver knew that and wanted to honor that, our 10 years, their 10 years of commitment to us really as well, right, of participating in Midlands Gives, to be able to honor that with a $10,000 gift. Yeah.
So again, you don't have to give $10,000
No.
to be a Cheerful Giver. $10 donation, you are a philanthropist. And again, you are supporting nonprofits who really, really rely upon all of us because we rely upon them. And again, the Cheerful Giver has once again inspired
Yes.
through this incredibly generous $10,000 gift that will make a huge difference in the lives of all of the ladies that Killingsworth supports.
You know, and they've been around for a very long time. If you've been in the Columbia community, then you certainly know about Killingsworth. And so there are so many organizations like that who are doing incredible work, sometimes sort of under the radar, who are doing really wonderful work within our community that we don't know about sometimes, but we are all impacted by their work.
We are. And again, you too can support nonprofits by going to midlandsgives.org, shop till you drop.
That's right.
And then put those nonprofits into your shopping cart, easy checkout, and you're going to be absolutely joyful, just like the Cheerful Giver, at the support that you are providing.
That's right. That's right. It's that easy. And you know, we're going to spend all day talking. Let's talk a little bit about our schedule for the day. So we're going to be on air. There is if you go to midlandsgives.org/headquarters, you can actually see our schedule. But we'll be on air in the morning talking to some of our In Good Company partners, which we'll talk about here in a little bit as to what that really means. And then talking to some nonprofits, and we're going to kind of group them by the type of organization they are. So this morning we're going to talk with organizations that work with animals, because I figure, you know, we were trying to think who we should talk to first, and if you have animals, then chances are you're up already because they're up. There you go. We have it listed up there as to what we're going to be doing for the day. So you'll see a block there from 6 a.m. till about 8:30. We'll be on air talking with some interviews, working with our In-Good Company partners, and talking with nonprofits 2 different times. And then we'll take a little bit of a break, so you guys can go and get some work done maybe. And then we'll be back on around lunchtime. So really at 11 o'clock we'll be back on talking with our nonprofits. And throughout the day, we will be announcing different prizes. We have over $150,000 worth of prizes, which is exciting. Our nonprofits work really hard for that. So we'll be announcing prizes throughout the day, and then we'll talk with our partners again throughout the day, and then we'll take a little bit of a break in the afternoon. Again, go get some work done, and then come back and hang out with us in the afternoon. And as Joanne mentioned, if you are in, kind of in this area, we are in Columbia, in the Bull Street District near the Sagra Park, which is where the Fireflies play. We have a drop-in from 4 to 6. Anyone is welcome to join us. We want the community here with us. We want our nonprofits, our donors. Anyway, if you love this community, come hang out with us and celebrate this community. From 4 to 6, we'll have music and a little bit of snacks and good time with people who care about this community, who are like-minded.
Absolutely. And we'll be celebrating because we're 10th anniversary.
That's
and
right.
Here we are, already over $20 million. One of the things that Erin just mentioned is all of the prizes. And our prizes are thanks to our In-Good Company network partners, companies and organizations and firms who believe in supporting the nonprofits. Chris rolled the screen that has the list of all of the wonderful companies that are providing gifts and incentives. So our power hours from Aflac and Dominion and Truist and Blue Cross Blue Shield, Schmoyer and Company, and many, many others are providing incentive prizes so that your money goes further today.
Yeah. So if you want to take a look at that, because it is really exciting to see all the different prizes that are out there, you certainly can go on midlandsgives.org, and if you look under For Nonprofits, there's a tab that says prizes. And it's really fun to see all the different ones that are out there, and we're going to be announcing all of those today. And then there's some going to be at the end of the night. So you'll see at the end of the night, a lot of nonprofits will get some of those last prizes that are hanging out there. And if you're checking your emails, like Joanne mentioned earlier, you might see some of your favorite nonprofits who specifically have times that you want to give. Listen, you can give any time you want, but if you have the ability to give whenever they're asking you to, it's because they're trying to win a prize. And these prizes really range everything, from $1,000 to $2,000. So they'll go up as some of the things you'll see. So take a look at some of those, and those are the things that our nonprofits are trying to win. And it really based on, some of them are if they're outside, in some of our other counties. Some of them are if they've participated in all 10 years. So there's a lot of different parameters there. And our nonprofits have spent a lot of time strategizing as to which one is right for them as well. So those are the kind of things that you'll see. And I will mention, we are an 11-county community foundation. Chris, if you want to look at those matches with us for a little bit. So we serve 11 counties in the Midlands, which is not a small area, and we love our 11 counties. But we do have community foundations in some of our counties, and that includes Kershaw, Sumter, Orangeburg and Calhoun, and the Greater Chapin community. And each of those community foundations is providing matches specifically for the nonprofits in their communities, in their counties. And so if you love a nonprofit that's in one of those sort of 5 service areas, please consider giving to them, because today is one of the days where they'll be able to get additional matches on top of what they might have already secured from other generous donors. But they'll also be getting matches from those community foundations that are housed here at Central Carolina Community Foundation. So when you're thinking about what counties we are serving, I want to make sure everybody knows, because we are, again, 11 counties. So that includes, Newberry, Fairfield, all the way down to Orangeburg, Calhoun, from Saluda, Lexington, through Richland to Sumter, Lee, and Clarendon. So it's this whole Midlands area is who we're serving. And there are nonprofits in every one of those counties who could use your help.
So again, if you're curious, you can sort by county, and you can take a look at what nonprofits serve my county. And again, what nonprofits are in the areas of interest for me.
That's right.
And the other thing to think about is, as you're having breakfast this morning with your kids, talk to your kids about giving. What organizations resonate with them? How can you teach them that their time, talent, and treasure means a great deal as well? That you can sit down as a family and say, who are we going to support today? Or have the kids think about it throughout the day, and then when they come home at dinner time, you can, as a family, make some gifts. It's a wonderful way to share the gift of giving with your family.
It's actually something we've done in our house because the site does make it quite easy for that. So I say I have 2 young daughters, and we say, what issue is important to you? And they say, well, my one daughter decided that water this year was important for her. And so we searched water. And so it gave her some ideas. And I said, well, these are the kind of organizations that are working in that area. And so she's thinking about that. Another one said animals. Another one said homelessness, right? So these are there you go. See the different things about water. So that's what we looked at. And then, so she's going to think a little bit about it today. And because the minimum gift is $10, you know, we can match maybe what she has in her piggy bank that she's willing to give. So she can then give a little bit as well. And it feels important for her. And just so you know, whenever I check out with those, I actually put in the little memo, this is from, and I put her name and I put her age, so that they know that it's actually from my daughter and not necessarily from us. So,
that's fabulous. And I have to say, you know, again, last year about 36% of the gifts were first-time gifts to a nonprofit. And even for our staff here, and we work with nonprofits every single day, we learn about new organizations and what they do. And it's so rewarding because it gives us a really good sense of all the good work that's being done. And for me, several of the organizations that I found through Midlands Gives, I now volunteer for, which I never would have known about had I not been a participant.
That's right. That's right. I think that I'm always surprised. I'm like, there's such really good people out there doing some of the things that they're doing. And still, I've been in the foundation now for 6.5 years. And like you said, I'm still like, oh, this is a new organization I didn't know about. And wow, that is a need. And I never thought about that. And I'm so glad somebody's addressing that.
Oh, absolutely. So again, midlandsgives.org. Go on, take a look, browse to your heart's content.
That's right.
There are profiles and videos and missions all listed on the site, so you can really learn about the organization that you're giving to. And as Erin said earlier, you have an option to also put volunteer for those organizations that are looking for volunteer. So today, give your time, treasure, talent, and your testimony. Again, testimony today is big.
Yes, because one of the number one reasons people give is because they were asked. So why don't you go ask a whole bunch of your friends to give, because that's one of the number one reasons that people give. And just so you know, with all the nonprofits, there's 572 on the site this year, which is a record. We've never had that many, which we're excited about, and there's new nonprofits every year that are added. The Community Foundation, our role in having them on our site, we can guarantee that they are in good standing with the IRS and that they're also registered with the South Carolina Secretary of State. Those are the 2 things that we can guarantee, that they are in good standing and they are actually a 501c3.
Right, and that is our role, to make sure that when you give, that organization that's receiving the money is accredited by the licensing organizations, and that's what we do. So that's very, very important. And again, the Community Foundation promotes this throughout the year because we believe that collaborative philanthropy, that's all of us working together, is the only way that we will make our community the most livable, equitable, and vibrant community that it can be. And that's why we're asking you to invest for impact, because that's what we're doing when we do Midlands Gives. When you make a gift, you're investing for impact. You're making a difference in the lives of the folks that organization serves. And taking a look, it has been fascinating to take a look at where we've been. So we have a chart that shows us where we've been through the years, because I cannot remember all these numbers. But again, that first year when we had 151 nonprofits and raised $750,000, and then the next year we jumped all the way up to 1.5 million, doubled the money, and we doubled the number of nonprofits, zooming all the way up to last year where we had 546 nonprofits, which was a record, until we broke it this year with 572. But the generosity of our donors has been incredible, particularly through the COVID years.
Yes, that was big because we were all at home and we transitioned everything to being at home that year. And our community was so incredibly generous. I think that's when we all really realized just how much we need that safety net, just how much folks really are still propping up this community. And that during the COVID years was incredible.
It was. We jumped from the year prior to COVID in 2019, where $2 million were raised, to 2020, that first year of COVID, where we had been locked down in March, and this was May.
Yeah.
And we raised $3.3 million for 416 nonprofits. Dollars that really, really were helpful because we all relied on nonprofits through those years.
Right.
Those 2 COVID years, 2.5 COVID years. And we surpassed it again in 2021. Again, the generosity and warm hearts of individuals who saw how nonprofits affected their lives through COVID.
That's right. They really had to step up.
amazing.
Yep. Yeah, and one thing we always like to remind people is that nonprofit is a tax status. It is not a business model. So our nonprofits do need charitable donations. They need grants. That's how they function, and they rely on the community for that. And they are incredibly effective and efficient and are doing the best they can with what they got, and they need a little bit more.
That's right. So you can help. MidlandsGives.org. Please give. Please give often. Please tell your friends. Please encourage folks to give. Yeah. We appreciate it. And again, Chris, let's take a look at some photos, and we'll be back shortly.
Well, real quick before we do that, Joanne, I just wanted to acknowledge some of our live viewers as well. So I'll just read off some of these comments. Linda Davis Daniel says, support Rose Leaf Foundation and Emma's Diaper Boutique. Thank you, CCCF. Elaine Frances Brunson says, love this. And she's giving to Sumter Black Chamber of Commerce. We have Good Morning from Fact Forward. The SAFE organization says, we are excited. And our good friend Julie Brennan says, good morning, Erin and Joanne.
Oh, Julie, lovely.
Fun.
Well, look at that leaderboard. I mean, we're already at $2.2 million.
And Julie's
Perfect.
comment, yes, really reminded me.
Yeah.
So one of our exciting prizes that we have on Midlands Gives Day are our milestone prizes, and they are provided by Truist Bank. And Mike Brennan will be on in just a bit to talk with us. The milestone prize, $1 million, 1.5 million, 2 million. Every time we hit one of those milestones, the organization who receives the gift that pops them over that $1 million receives a $1,000 prize. So when we hit $1 million, the winner was
Sharing God's Love. Yay. Yeah, that's an exciting prize for them. And it was a random, whoever gave that gift, good job. You timed it exactly right to where the organization that you're supporting got an additional, you got a good match to your dollars, additional $1,000 prize.
So that $10 prize could have turned into $1,010 prize.
Yeah,
so
that's
again,
right.
It's fabulous. There we are. And there's a picture of years past when Mike and I awarded the $250 million milestone prize. And again, 250, and now we're at 1 million.
Yes.
So back in the day, we were doing in 1,000 increments.
We were.
Now we're doing in $1 million increments.
And
fabulous.
so Truist will be on with us, what time? 7:30. And our hope, our goal, if you guys can help us get there, is to get the 1.5 million milestone, maybe while Truist is here, which would be great for us to be able to turn that milestone already. Because we have a power hour coming up. We can totally do it, Midlands. Get up and give. Yeah.
Get up and give. It's time to give now. Please join us. Channel your inner philanthropist. Be inspired by the cheerful giver. MidlandsGives.org. And we'll be back in a minute. All right, and good morning again at Midlands Gives Headquarters 2023. We are at $1.2 million, and I am joined by the incredible team of Dominion Energy, Keller, Sam, Stephanie, and a special guest, Judy Gatson.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Good morning. Great morning.
So over the last 10 years, we've had the great good fortune to work with Dominion Energy. We're so grateful for the incredible support that you've provided to hundreds and hundreds of nonprofits. Just like now, we just announced $50,000 in prizes, $2,000 prizes to 25 nonprofits. So Keller and Stephanie, the hearts that you have and the culture that you have built over at Dominion Energy, tell us about it.
Well, I think, Joanne, it comes from our employees and what they do day in and day out. People don't come into Dominion Energy and walk out with a bag of electricity or a box of natural gas. We have to take it to the communities that we serve. So our infrastructure is in the parking lots of your schools and your churches, the backyard of your home. So that type of relationship between our employees and the customers that we serve naturally blends into the communities that we serve. And our employees see it every day. You know, a lot of corporations give money, and we do as well, but the biggest thing is the drive in the hearts of our employees. The volunteer hours that they put into the communities far exceed any checks that we could write. So as a result of them and in honor of them, we decided Midlands Gives was the perfect way. And we've had employees involved with this, and I tell you, it's a sense of purpose, but it's a sense of community. Us all together. We've made so many incredible friends over the last 10 years, and I think it's a testament to if you empathize, if you look through somebody else's eyes, okay, if you hear through somebody else's ears, you feel through somebody else's heart, then it's like that boomerang you throw, it'll come back to you exponentially, and that's been our experience with your wonderful staff at Community Gives, our television partners who've been there all the way with the bucket truck rides and everything else to kick it off, and certainly Stephanie that heads up our philanthropy. So it's just a great team of a lot of love and a great sense of pride that we feel after 10 years of working with you.
Well, again, it's truly lifted up community. We're well over $20 million, $10 gifts, midlandsgives.org. And like Keller, you too can make new friends by taking a look at those incredible nonprofits that are making a difference in all of our lives. Stephanie, you've been leading philanthropy over at Dominion for many years. What's most resonated with you?
Well, I think especially being a part of this day, it's been really great for not only Keller and I to be a part of Midlands Gives, but as he said, our employees too, because it's been a really great way for us to learn about nonprofits that we, not only see here today, but throughout the year. And it's a great way for our employees to learn more about nonprofits that they may not be aware of in our community, and the incredible impact that they're making in our community. And also what your organization is doing to make a difference with those nonprofits too, and the capacity building and the impact that Midlands Gives is making on those nonprofits, not only today, but throughout the year. So I think the ability to learn about those nonprofits and the fact that just $10 can make a difference in our community is incredible. So for us to be able to help make that difference and to play a small role in that is just really meaningful. And we just encourage our employees and our fellow community members to get involved, and whether it's volunteering or just providing $10 today, it just makes a big difference, and we're proud to be a part of it.
Judy, what are your thoughts today?
Well, first of all, thank you all for having us. This is literally my favorite day of the year because it unites our community around a common purpose. And you think about the incredible numbers. And Joanne, I think about the first Midland Gives, and we're like, oh my gosh, how are we going to top that? And then you think about each year. And then now the pre-giving, it's like you can't help but get excited about this effort. And, in the news, the headlines are not always things that bring us so much joy, but this is such a reminder of all the great things that are happening in our community. And we're going to multitask a little bit. We're about to be live on WIS as well. Intisar and Jamara tossing to me right now, so I want to talk more with Keller. They did. Intisar, Dominion Energy always brings that kind of energy. They did make that huge announcement. We're live on WIS and live on the community, Central Carolina Community Foundation page for Midlands Gives. But Keller, I just have to say thank you again for the incredible impact that you and your employees, I mean, it is, as Joanne mentioned earlier, it's the culture that Dominion has created to make this a priority in the community.
There's no question, and it just means everything for us to have these partners. It is definitely community. Community dates back ancient times where everybody kind of brings a little bit of themselves, puts it in the pot, and next thing you know, you have a feast. That's how I look at this day. Everybody bringing a little bit together, and at the end of this day, we'll look and there'll be millions of dollars, but it's not just the dollars. The dollars represent people in our community that are in need. And we just are overjoyed to be here with you today. It's just it's my favorite day as well, Judy.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. And this is what I want to encourage everybody to do. I know everybody's getting ready to head out to work and school, but when you have 5 minutes, look for an organization that really touches your heart. For my family, for my boys, for example, Aiden wants to do Homeless No More this year because we did some volunteer work over there, and that's the only place in the community where families can stay together. And Nicholas wants to do Camp Chemo because they've celebrated that for swim team over the years, and it's a safe place where kids who have cancer can just be a kid for the summer. So find something that means something to you. Joanne, it only takes $10 to be a philanthropist.
It only takes $10, and if we do it together, if we build community, we can support every single one of these 572 nonprofits that touch our lives.
It really does. It really does. So let me tell you something. Whatever you have a heart to give, that spirit of giving, however it is moving in you this morning, let me tell you this. It will be more of a gift for you than it is even for the organization. This money is going to have such a tremendous impact right here in our community. And Keller, there are always so many great organizations that we can support. But the other thing about Midlands Gives, it touches every aspect in our community, from the arts to education to health and wellness. And the military always at the center of our heart.
Yeah, Nicholas, we'll have a bond today. Camp Chemo. When my daughter was 6 years old, she was diagnosed with leukemia. And she spent a week at Camp Chemo every week when she was growing up. And now she's a pediatric oncology nurse down at MUSC. And if you don't think the Lord's got his hands on that, you can't make that. You can't script it. So you picking Camp Chemo, that touched my heart. So we'll always be bound. And that's what this day is about, bringing everybody together to celebrate our successes and overcome challenges that people face by the blessings that we have.
Listen, y'all didn't know y'all gonna get a Sunday morning sermon on this Midlands Gives Tuesday, but we got it for you here. Listen, it is all about faith. It is all about community. It is all about coming together, the power of good. And if my boys can break in their piggy bank to become philanthropists today, you can do the same thing too. So we have been so delighted to help kick this off on WIS this morning. Intisar and Jamal, I'll be looking forward to hearing from y'all, who y'all are supporting for Midlands Gives today. Great to be with y'all on Sunrise this morning, especially to celebrate Midlands Gives.
All right. We husband had leukemia.
Oh, really?
21 years.
This is why I never have a bad day.
All right. So now we have been inspired, and now we are going to go to our nonprofits who are going to tell us the
That's her
incredible
now.
stories of what they're trying to accomplish through your
That's her now.
gifts today on Midlands
God
Gifts
is
Day.
good, and she's
So
a
I'm going to turn it over
Pediatric
to Erin
oncology
Johnson.
nurse.
All right.
Wow.
Well, good
What a great way
morning,
to start the day.
everybody.
I'm a show.
Yeah, I'm excited. We got all these great nonprofits who are here very early. I don't know if y'all heard me earlier. I said we picked the animal nonprofits because we figured anybody who has animals, they're already up, right? You guys are up, ready to go. So we so appreciate y'all being here with us today. And so I'm going to give an opportunity for each of you.
Yes.
Introduce your organization, tell us a little bit about what you're doing, and then we'll kind of just have a conversation about sort of what's going on in the Midlands right now when it comes to animals and working with animal welfare and those kind of things. How's that sound?
Great.
Can y'all all hear me?
I can. Yes.
Good. All right. So we're going to start with, I believe, are Allie and Melissa here with us from PALS? All right. Good morning, ladies. Can you tell us a little bit about your organization and sort of what you got going on right now? I don't think I can hear you guys. I think you might be muted. Everybody make sure you're unmuted.
We're Palmetto Animal Assisted Life Services, and we train service dogs to assist individuals with PTSD, autism, and mobility needs. And this morning we have Sheffield, one of our little guys who got up bright and early with us to make an appearance, and he's starting his training.
So tell us a little bit then about sort of your process, how it is that you work with, because I mean, you guys are an interesting organization, and I think Dream Riders is similar, where you work with animals as a way to work with work with humans, right? So tell us a little bit about that.
Correct. Well, we assist individuals with varying functional abilities. And what we do is we have a whole client application process, and they apply for the service dog with us. And we have a pretty thorough review committee. And through this process, we're able to pair our service animal with the right client so that we can have the optimal outcomes, whether, again, it's a mobility client, a client with PTSD, a client with autism, or one of our facility dogs, because we have several dogs out in the community working with occupational therapists in the Department of Corrections. And, you know, truly, through one of our clients, her greatest asset from getting one of our dogs was freedom, independence, and the opening of doors, literally and figuratively, with the help of her service animal. If you want to add anything, Miss Allie.
Yeah. So essentially what Melissa said, we really want to help give these clients more independence. And we've seen their lives changed by being paired with their service dog. And it's been pretty incredible when you see, you know, a dog go through their 2 years of training, because that's how long it takes. And for the ones that make it, get partnered with their perfect person, and they're the perfect match. And it's like this match made in heaven. And they go on and, you know, live this beautiful life together. And you get to see it all come together at the graduation ceremony, and, you know, follow this duo for, you know, however long they'll be together. So
That's
it's
great.
really special.
So you said it's over 2 years of training. Is that correct?
Yes.
Correct.
So the dogs will start as young as 8 weeks, and it typically takes about 2 years. They'll start through preschool and go all the way through second semester senior.
I love that you give them like levels like that. It makes sense
Yeah.
to us, right? We're like, oh, I understand that, preschool all the way up to being a senior. That's great.
It's very much like going to school, and you know, the schools that we go out and do our programs in, the kids can really relate to it because they're going to school at many same ages our dogs are. So that's a really unique opportunity for them to see that training in progress.
Yeah. Well, thank you. So I think this is a good transition then over to Dream Riders. And so I believe we have Jennifer. Is that right? Jennifer, you're here with us
That's
from
right.
Dream Riders?
Yes. Hey, good
Great.
morning.
So tell it, because I think the sort of work you do is sort of similar, right, to what the work that PALS does. So if you could tell us a little bit about your organization, your mission, and how you do your work.
Yes, it's sort of similar. We work with kind of the same people, except for we don't give them horses, or we don't provide them horses. We provide horses. So we do equine assisted activities for people with special needs, and that is a special needs for us is it's a big umbrella of words. We do have, I'd say the program, it has a lot of, it's over half autism. But we have Down syndrome and we have cerebral palsy. We have all sorts of disabilities. So we take horses, and we have 4 horses right now. We just brought a 5th one on board to help out our 3 aging seniors. And we teach them horseback riding skills, whether it be on the ground, into the saddle. They learn, if they want to learn how to care for the horses, and just how to interact with the horses on a partnership basis, into competition. This weekend, we have 4 of our athletes going to Special Olympics, the state competition. And we have some that can do para dressage. I'm a certified coach at the national level. So that is kind of where we go. We have some that just do it for recreation. I had a mom yesterday talking to me about her daughter that has been riding with over COVID, and then she just came back riding with us starting in the spring. And just the difference she's seen in her daughter's legs and strength in her legs. She used to not be able to get up off the floor. And now she's able to get off the floor. And she said the only thing that's changed in her life is she's gone back to horseback riding once a week. And just to see those kind of differences is quite amazing for us. But that is our goal. We're a professional association of therapeutic horsemanship international accredited program. And so we have a warrior project through that. And so this summer we're going to be adding 2 veterans that will start with some groundwork with horses. They're just going to be learning horsemanship skills, but kind of along with us, have them confidence and get them out that activity where they feel safe and feel more interactive in society and a little better about themselves.
Great. So tell me the ages that people can, and how do the people access you and your services?
So we start at 4 years old, and then from there they can ride at whatever age they're, as long as their doctor it's okay and signs off on them on medical. We just rebuilt our website, and so it's up to date with all of our up-to-date information. So if they go to our website, it's got the rider registration. We have a application form that they have to do because we're a premier accredited center. They have to have a medical, and we have to have a little health history on them. And then we do a pre-assessment just to make sure they fit into the program and where they can fit into the program best. A 4-year-old is probably going to need a leader and 2 sidewalkers. And we have some riders that are completely independent, working on walk trot and hopefully moving on to canter on a horse, which is the different speeds on a horse.
That's great. So thank you for sharing that information. And we're going to circle back to everybody and talk a little bit more too. But I do want to give a chance to chat with Dawn from Humane Society of South Carolina. Good morning, Dawn.
Good morning.
Tell us a little bit. I think, we all kind of maybe feel like we have an idea of what the Humane Society is and what it does, but we want to hear from you. Tell me exactly what it is, the work that you all do, and the animals you work with. How do you, work with the public and all those kind of things?
Sure. So, the Humane Society is the oldest animal organization in the Midlands area and the second oldest in the state of South Carolina. We started in 1902, and our goal, we have a very defined mission to end animal overpopulation and animal cruelty and neglect. So we focus on those 2 areas, and a lot of people know us in the Midlands area through our spay-neuter services that we do offer to the public. But then we also have another side of us, which is our advocacy, education, and investing program for preventing and ending animal cruelty and neglect. So we work with the community on solving overpopulation issues with cats and dogs. And then we also work with the community on resolving instances and complaints of cruelty and neglect.
And is that specific to dogs and cats, or is it other animals as well?
We do all animals in our cruelty and neglect program. Get numerous complaints on anywhere from cows. We've even gotten complaints on gates.
So I'm not sure. I think if it's our feed or someone else's, but things are a little bit delayed. I can't hear everybody all the way. So I'm hoping that y'all can still hear me a little bit, and we'll keep chatting. So I did not realize you all have been around since the early 1900s. That is incredible.
Correct. Yes. And this is what we do. We are not a shelter organization. We don't actually rescue and adopt out a lot of these animals. We conserve, our donations to really work within the community to resolve the overpopulation issue with cats and dogs, and work towards a better community through kindness and compassion towards all animals.
We talk a lot about, the impact of being around animals and being raised with animals that has, and I'm assuming you guys talk a lot about that as well.
Yes, we do, through our advocacy efforts, working on local legislation, statewide legislation, and then through our education, just a week ago, we worked with the Lonnie B. Nelson Elementary School with their 4th grade Miss Emery's class on a service project on teaching the rest of the school and the classes how to be kind to animals and how to treat animals.
So Chris, I think wanted to make sure that everybody saw, it has to be that we're talking about animals, because everybody loves their animals. We just surpassed the $1.3 million mark, which is incredible and exciting. And hopefully all of y'all's donations are going up too as we speak. I do want to remind people this is our first AFLAC Power Hour. And so for those of you who know, a lot of our nonprofits are gaming to be able to try to figure out if we can get the most donations during certain hours, and they get an extra prize as well. And so this is our first Power Hour. So we do love to see this one. And so it's a fun time for us to be chatting, because we'll see that leaderboard continue to go up as well. So that's fun. Just a quick question there. If someone is interested in spay and neutering, because I know you mentioned that, how do they access you all?
They can visit our website at humanesc.org. You could schedule an appointment. We make it real easy to schedule an appointment right online. For no-cost spay or neuter services, they can also reach out to us at our phone number, 803-783-1267, or shoot us an email at info@humanesc.org.
And I'm assuming, just because you all are charitable, are these services a little more affordable maybe than in other ways that you're accessing them?
Yes. So we are actually, when we looked at a price comparison, we are the lowest cost in the Midlands area, and one of the lowest costs in the state.
That's great. So if someone wanted to access your services, they could do that. And while they were there, because I'm sure they're going to get great service, they could also give an additional donation to be able to help pay for others who maybe you're struggling to be able to pay. Even though it's discounted, there might be some folks who have trouble paying that amount.
Absolutely. We never turn anyone away for the inability to pay for a spay neuter services. If they want that for their animal and they don't want the unwanted litters that come with having an unaltered dog or cat, we will work with them most certainly. And, we do ask for donations. We say spay it forward to someone else to help someone else fix their animal and help to end overpopulation.
That's great. Thank you for that. I love it. So we're going to also make sure we get over to Lynn. She's with the Boykin Spaniel Rescue, and I believe you guys are out of Kershaw County. Is that right?
That's correct.
It makes sense, because we know all of our Boykin Spaniels come from that area. So talk to us a little bit about the Boykin Spaniel Rescue. And,
Sure.
and tell us who you got with you there.
This is Ruthie. Ruthie is 15. She is part of our permanent foster care program. She came a couple years ago when her owner passed away, but she hadn't really been socialized or anything like that. So I love training. She got her canine good citizen when she was 13 years old. So don't say you can't teach an old dog new tricks, because it's absolutely true. And just like Allie and Melissa said, She actually, all these dogs need a job. So one of her jobs is on Saturday mornings, we work with dogs that are going to be certified service dogs, puppies. And she's one of the dogs, because her behavior is so good, she can help those dogs become really great as puppies. And she works, whether she has to sit or what have you, that's her job. She works with them to make sure that they can learn good manners as well. We currently have 25 dogs in our permanent foster care program. And those are dogs that for medical or emotional reasons need to remain in a foster home for the balance of their lives. BSR is in the 23rd year because it is the state dog of South Carolina. Yes, we are based, but because the increase in the popularity, we are nationwide, and we have over 650 volunteers throughout the United States.
That's huge. And so what is it that your volunteers do?
Well, everything from going in and identifying a Boykin Spaniel that we may be notified that may be in an at-risk situation. We pull them out of those situations. Could be strays, could be owner surrenders, could be in any way, shape, or form. And then we put a transport train together, get their freedom ride to where they need to be. Unfortunately, we get a lot of catastrophic cases. Last year, we had over 25 catastrophic cases. And this year, we've already got, I think, 5 catastrophic cases. And those really need significant medical intervention. Our overarching goal is that these dogs have a great quality of life, but we don't skimp on their needs. It's about, they need that MRI, they need a surgery, they need the rehab, whatever that is, they're going to get. We really believe that, it's about quality of life for these guys, but it's also maximizing their potential. So every dog, and to your question, our volunteers, many of them have been around a long time or are very experienced in the breed to really learn what it is that each dog's going to need to be happiest. Are they hunting dogs? Are they party? Are they going to be a great dock diver? Like Ruthie, she also works with foster children. She goes with me. I work with foster kids as well. So she goes with me to teach kids who may not have had a great positive experience. But all these dogs need a job. So we have to identify where are they going to be happiest, what kind of home. So that's really what our volunteers do. And we take them all the way through to the adoption process, which is rigorous. But it's because we want to make sure each one of these precious dogs, because they take a lot, right? They're sporting and hunting dogs. They in many cases, they're adorable. But people haven't realized really, truly what it takes to take care of these dogs, the level of exercise they need. Even at 15, she's 3-4 miles a day. We live at the beach. She loves to run on the beach. So we need to make sure that each of these dogs are going to have what they need for the balance of their lives.
That's I appreciate you talking about that, because that's a little bit too about what the Humane Society probably is seeing as well, is that some people just don't know what they're getting into, right?
Correct.
Like this, yes, it's a cute dog, but really thinking through what are the expectations? What does this animal need, this cat need, whatever that is? And people sometimes just aren't prepared for that.
And that's correct. And it's about making sure in many cases, we don't want them to have to go through that change of life again. We want to make sure that when they leave our care, it's going to be forever. And so it is a rigorous training, evaluation process, but it's worth it.
Yeah, of course, it's always worth it. Yes, thank you. So, because you all are sort of working in, you all are working in the animal space, I do wonder what are what are the some of the major issues that you're facing right now? And I know that I believe it was mentioned a little bit of some of the advocacy issues. What are you seeing? What are the trends? I mean, we mentioned that some folks are sort of getting into having animals that they aren't prepared to have. But what are we seeing out there right now the public needs to be aware of, and some of the work that you're seeing? What are the trends happening in South Carolina right now?
So what I would say is going hand in hand with that is the cost of veterinary care is going up. And I would say, get pet insurance, folks. It's not incredibly expensive, but when you're going to have a dog, and you never know, are they going to eat something they should have and need an obstruction surgery or what have you? Insurance is really important. Make sure you budget that in. And because vets can do more, but it's expensive. So make sure when you're looking at getting a dog that you understand what those costs are. and look ahead towards it, because I can tell you firsthand from the 62 dogs or so that we have in care right now, it is very expensive.
I don't think
Yeah,
people are
you know,
prepared
Boy
for
can,
that.
yeah, we can echo that as well. That's part of the education process. When our client is paired with their service animal, we actually take 3 to 4 weeks to train the client, and they fully understand what the responsibilities are in caring for the animal, the importance of working closely with the animal, understanding one another. But you're right, a lot of people don't understand the extra work that is involved with having an animal in the house, and just making sure that our clients are educated on that and the community's educated on that. And the veterinary care is so very important to keep all of them very healthy and to be able to work for a very long time.
Yeah, I definitely echo all these sentiments. We have, looked at ways to increase access to veterinary care in the state, looking at some potential state laws that would maybe allow, snowbird vets to practice in there when they come down here to maybe vacation or live part of there. So reciprocity laws, we're looking at maybe some, maybe trying to introduce some loan and debt forgiveness. I know that you've all read in the paper that Clemson will be getting a school of veterinary medicine. And, that is wonderful and will definitely help our state and our area with an increased access to care. However, we're looking at that first class graduating in about 2030. So, that's quite a ways off, and we need some more immediate relief for pet owners and the animals in the state to see these services.
I think to
I
build,
appreciate that innovation. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think to build on the veterinarian, when the horse world, we're pretty limited too. There's not as many veterinarians in the area that you as well. And then to build on that further, feed and hay in the horse world, with all of the changing prices, has skyrocketed, which I think the Humane Society probably has seen that impact the horse world a little bit, and some of the care of the horses. We really had to take that into account. It's gone so far up, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yes, I will again echo that sentiment. We receive a lot of horse complaints on neglect, and most of the time it is because they are not fed properly, and the horse owner did not realize the cost of
Right.
properly feeding and caring for a horse.
And I'm sure each of you have on your Midlands Gives profile probably what it costs to, for example, feed one of your animals for a day or to take care of them for a month. And I'm hoping that all of your profile sort of outlines that for our donors so they can really see the impact of their gift.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, and the other thing is, we are so fortunate as an organization, and I imagine some of our partners on here are as well, that we have vet partners that work with us and sponsor many of our dogs for us to help offset a lot of the veterinary costs, but they're still, important, and the costs keep going up. But I want to put a plug in there. Thank you to those veterinary sponsors, because they are critical for what we do.
100%.
I think that's a great point. So earlier we talked about different ways to give, and certainly today is mostly about giving financially, right? But there is a way to identify being able to give of your time. And I think you all are very right that we do have some incredible professionals out there who are giving of their time and talents to be able to offer some of their services either at low cost or free in some cases. And I'm sure you all are benefiting from that for sure with our generous vet and vet techs and those kind of things.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That's
and our
great.
volunteers. And as someone else mentioned, volunteers, boy, they're such the backbone of our organization. They help us in so many different ways. And I think many of us wouldn't be able to do what we do without the generosity of our volunteers who come in every day and give of themselves.
Yes, I agree. So tell me a little bit. So we have just a few minutes left. I do want to give an opportunity for each of you. So Midlands Gives is I used to work I still work for a nonprofit, but I was actually on the ground doing nonprofit work. And there's something different about Midlands Gives because those donations are unrestricted, right? They're not a grant that says you have to do X, Y, and Z with it. You can't spend it on all these different things that some of our grants have. But really, donations from Midlands Gives is unrestricted. I would love to get a chance for each of you to go around to be able to say, what does that mean for your organization? What are you going to be able to do because it's unrestricted? And also let us know what your goal is for the day, because some of you have some really ambitious goals, and I'm sure you're going to meet them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want us to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
So with the obviously the funds being unrestricted, a lot of people don't know that for a dog to go through 2 years of service training, it costs about $40,000. So what we do with our funds is use that money towards the 2 years of a service dog. So hopefully to get 2, maybe 3 years or 3 dogs through the 2 years of service dog training and placed with a client. Would be our goal with our Midlands Gives funds.
Yeah, and we have a big goal today. We have set our goal at 100. So, hopefully our folks out there will continue to support us, and we thank you for everything that you do to help us further our mission.
That's awesome. So do you guys remember how much you raised last year then?
We raised, I believe, $108,000.
Oh, well, that goal isn't too ambitious then. You've done this. That's great. So that's good. And do y'all have any matching funds that are available for people to sort of double their donation?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we do. We have matching funds.
Great. And do y'all have a strategy? Because this is your time to remind your donors to say, we want you to give during certain hours or anything like that.
Well, we did sign up for the AFLAC 7 a.m. power hour. So
right now, your donors will be giving right now. Okay, good.
So just hoping all our donors are hopping in right now and making their donation for the day.
And we'll be live throughout the day with different activities. So tune into our Facebook and you'll get to see all the fun activities here at PALS. And I hope everyone has a wonderful day today and is successful with their fundraising.
Thank you. That's great. Jennifer, you want to tell us a little bit about what unrestricted funds will be used for with you and your goal for the day?
Well, we set our goal today for 20,000. And the unrestricted funds, there's so many variables that go in with what we do. We're outside, so we just had a bunch of trees cut down around the riding arena and limbs cut out. We were having a lot of dead limbs fall, and that's very dangerous when you're riding horses. So because of the success of this, we were able to not think about that and just do it to make sure our riders were safe, and then we do have the horse care, and it's increased. So this just helps us continue to just provide our services very safely. Equipment, our reins have aged out. Reins are what you hold to steer the horse. So I just ordered a pair or 4 sets of those for riders to use. They're going to be paracord reins that are made by a young lady that is wanting to be a therapeutic riding instructor. So there's just so much, and just to be able to know you can replace the equipment when it's dangerous and it needs to be retired, and that the horses are going to have the care that they need, and the facility, you've got the means to make sure you have a safe facility for these riders to have an enjoyable, safe ride. That's really what Midlands Gives has done for us. Just to take that off, that we just had that sense that it's going to be okay and we can just continue to provide this service. And our goal is 20,000 for this year. This has turned into just a driving force behind Dream Riders. And we really just appreciate this opportunity to be a part of this for the 10th year.
Oh, you're a 10-year participant. All right, that's great.
We're at 10 year, yeah.
I can really appreciate what you're saying, Jennifer, because I think anyone who manages a budget, even if it's their personal budget or at work, we understand it's really the value of when there's something that you need and not having to be like, well, can we do it? If we move this money here, or what does that impact somewhere else? But being able to say, this is something we need. It's going to keep us and our riders safe and our staff safe, and we're going to do it. And there is a lot to be said for that, and we all understand that in our own personal budgets as well. So I appreciate you acknowledging that, and that's certainly what Midlands Gives hopefully can help the rest of us do. And so we're going to go, let's also chat with Dawn. What is that going to mean for you all? What's your goal?
So today we've got a goal of 10,000. Last year we were just a little over 8. We're really hoping to break that mark and get to that 10,000. We have been a participant of Midlands Gives every year, so we've been slowly building. We do have a board match in place of $3,200, and hoping that everyone gives during our power hour from 6 to 7 tonight. We chose a little later time frame. So hopefully everyone will come out and support the Humane Society at that time and help us reach our goal. And this funding really goes towards, obviously, to keep our services low cost, spay and neuter and vaccines, but also for the investigation of complaints of cruelty and neglect. That does have a cost to it. We do pay an investigator, a sheriff's officer out of Richland County, and they do go and investigate these claims and all around the Midlands areas. And then there's the supplies that go with it, or if an animal needs something. So that's what we're going to put it towards.
That's great. So give any time today, but if you're going to be around from 6 to 6:59 tonight, and you're hanging around making dinner or waiting for your order to come from dinner, go ahead and get online. You can do it from your phone, you can do it from your laptop, wherever you're at, and think about giving to the Humane Society. I appreciate that. Thank you for that. And certainly last but not least, Lynn, tell us a little bit about what y'all's goal is, what the money will be used for, if there's any special prizes you're trying to angle for that you want your donors to know about.
So this is our second year. We're happy to be here. And last year we raised just over $2,000. This year we're hoping for 5.
All right.
And for us, it's really, as I said before, this is the state dog of South Carolina, but this dog is gaining popularity, and it's really important to us that we keep these dogs safe. So we're working, while we have 650 volunteers, we're really looking to just increase the awareness, because if dogs are in far-reaching places, we want to make sure that we can get to them. So it's increasing the awareness, getting volunteers in the more remote areas, that we can get to them, get them to safety, and get them to where they need to be so that they can live their best lives.
That's great. And I think I appreciate all your goals. And I think that it really shows too the really wide range and variety of nonprofits we have. We have some nonprofits that are like multi-million-dollar nonprofits, right? We have some that are operating on less than 10,000. And so we have a wide range of nonprofits. You all represent that as well. And you're all doing incredible work. And I think you're all punching above your weight, really. So I appreciate all of that. And you all can give a shout out to all of your partners who are also in this space. We have quite a few animal welfare organizations who are also in this space. And so we encourage folks to get online. There's some great work being done here with these 4 partners who agreed to get up early with me and chat and get their hair done and everything. So I really appreciate that. I do. And so we have other animal nonprofits too that are in your own counties or wherever it is that you're wanting to work. So I encourage all of the donors out there to get online, take a look. These are 4 great organizations, but there's certainly others that these ladies can attest to that do good work as well.
Yep.
All right, so I think we're going to transition over. We are going to take a little bit of a break, but we're still in our power hour, so keep giving. We're going to talk with Truist Bank here in a little bit, one of our In Good Company partners. And so again, I want to say a big thank you to you all, and thank you to the sweet puppies not so little puppies anymore, that were able to be on with us today as well. We appreciate y'all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
There we go. Okay, and welcome back to Midlands Gives 10th anniversary celebration. Before I introduce our special guest from Truist, I am delighted to announce our second Cheerful Giver 10th anniversary $10,000 prize. And that random drawing prize goes to, drumroll, Dream Riders. So congratulations to Dream Riders. You have been awarded a $10,000 10th anniversary Midlands Gives Prize from Cheerful Giver. Those prizes go to organizations that have received grants from Cheerful Giver in the past and have participated in Midlands Gives for 10 years. So bravo to you. I'm sure you'll put those monies to good use. So again, incentives and matches and prizes are a tremendous way for folks to be inspired to give. And I'm delighted today to introduce Mike Brennan, Regional President, and Sarah Landhold, the woman at the right side of Mike Brennan, to talk about Truist and Truist's involvement with Midlands Gives over the years. We are delighted that Truist has provided our Milestone Prize for several years. And the Milestone Prize, for those who don't know how it works, it's $1 million. And at $1 million, whichever organization has had a gift that tips us over $1 million receives $1,000. Our next milestone is 1.5, and so forth. So, Mike, Sarah, we've awarded our first million. So let's go ahead and turn the milestone box. And that prize was awarded to?
Sharing God's Love.
That's wonderful. Thank you. And hopefully, I think we're getting close to the 1.5. We'll be able to announce that as well. So tell us, you have been part of Midlands Gives since the beginning. What has been the motivation for you and Truist to participate?
Well, Joanne, you know, it's interesting. When this we started this 10 years ago, you know, I don't think any of us were sure what this was going to accomplish, but we recognized that investing in something like this that had the potential to be something great and has turned out to be something great in our community.
Absolutely.
So
Thank you.
it was really our belief in the community foundation.
Well,
and
thank
the
you
work they
for
were
that.
doing.
'Cause,
Absolutely.
Mike, you were on the board when we decided to bring Midlands Gives here.
It's a long time ago.
It was, and no one knew what a giving day was
kicked
back.
me off so my wife Julie could be on the board.
We did, and you know, she's organized our big anniversary party. And so, as an aside, from 4 to 6 p.m., if you're in the Bull Street District, please stop by Julie Brennan, Mike's wonderful wife, who's also served on our board. And she's also watching us right now. Mike and Sarah, yeah, you look fabulous. She is hosting, along with Bhavna Vasudeva, our wonderful 10th anniversary celebration. But now back to Truist. So again, Truist truly does invest in community. Can you tell us some of the initiatives and some of the programs that Truist is focused on? Sarah.
Yeah, absolutely. So Truist is partnering with organizations that invest in people, that invest in themselves. One example of that is the USC Columbia Technology Incubator, of which we recently provided a gift, and another is the Midlands Tech Heavy Equipment Operator Program.
Oh, those are fabulous, because you think about the fact with all this new construction coming and these new companies like Scout, we need people with technology and construction skills.
Well, workforce development is one of our pillars for our foundation that we like to support in communities across the entire Truist footprint, which is much larger than South Carolina.
Oh, absolutely. How widespread is Truist, Mike?
Well, Mid-Atlantic all the way down to Key West, all the way across the Southeast and over into Texas.
So how can we have a gig down at Key West? Maybe have a branch of Midlands Gives for Truist down in Key West. That would be fabulous.
That sounds great.
That sounds really good. Well, one of the things that you have done is you have really built a culture in South Carolina, because you've been a part of this bank for many, many years. How do you engage your employees in giving back?
Well, you know, it's interesting. Truist really promotes teammate engagement in the communities in which they live. And they even provide a matching gift up to $2,500 for our teammates to invest in communities. And so that's a pretty significant investment on behalf of Truist. And I have just tried to build a culture of engagement and community involvement with our teammates over my 23 years here in Columbia, and I think it shows.
I think so. So with that matching gift, Sarah, how would that work? If someone makes a gift today on Midlands Gives, how does that match work?
Yeah, absolutely. All they have to do is get on the Truist portal and submit that, and then it goes through a process where they reach out to the organization. It's a really easy process. They verify everything, and then that gift is matched up to $2,500.
And for those of you who are giving at midlandsgives.org, as you check out, there is a question: does your employer provide a match? And if you're an employee of Truist, you say, yes, absolutely. And so then that process can continue. So that's really key. And Mike, you also talked about volunteering, and that's another option. When you make a gift on Midlands Gives, you can do your gift, yes, I'd like to volunteer, and yes, Truist does match my gift.
Sarah, talk about what Truist allows our teammates to take time off to invest.
Absolutely. So Truist allows all hourly employees to have 16 hours of paid time off to spend in the community. So you can break that up in any way that you see fit, 2 hours over the course of time. Do 2 full days in the community if you would like to. And in addition to that, we have teammates that identify those volunteer opportunities and send them out. Things like getting involved in schools and in the classroom and other opportunities like that.
Oh, that's wonderful. Now, what have you done? What kinds of activities have you participated in?
Oh, that's a really good question. All kinds of stuff, honestly. I do a lot with United Way. I'm on several committees with United Way. Most recently, reading through their grant applications and ranking and scoring those. That's something I really enjoy doing.
Oh, that's always challenging, isn't it? Because everyone sounds perfect.
They all deserve the money. It's such a hard thing to do.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And Mike, what have been some of your more notable volunteer moments?
Oh my goodness.
A lot. I know there have been so many.
They've all been very interesting. The thing that I've enjoyed about South Carolina is it's really such an intimate state. And it's easy to get to know folks across the entire state. And that's really allowed me to get to know people across the entire state and be involved in statewide organizations and being just involved in Midlands organizations. And much has been given, much is required.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I know that when we have gone out to talk to other companies and firms, when we were introducing our In Good Company network, this is what Mike and Truist is a part of. These are the organizations that provide incentive prizes, like our Milestone Prize. When I say Mike Brennan and Truist are participating, heads start nodding, because you bring credibility, and I think that's important. Aaron and I were talking at the beginning of this session today at 6 a.m. that there are many ways that folks can give back, time, treasure, talent, but the one that often is overlooked that is so critical is testimony. So when you have a nonprofit that you really care about, you have an initiative, if you put your personal stamp of approval on it, that makes such a difference. That makes such a difference. So do you have favorite nonprofits that you might be rooting for today? We can have a little commercial, it's okay.
I'm partial to Coletown Bicycle Collective, which is having a power hour right now.
And I think that's because you have a personal connection.
Yes, my husband is on the board.
Which is great. So again, you're providing time, talent, and treasure, and testimony. There you go. So that all works. Well, we're getting close on the leaderboard. Come on, everyone. Let's give. Let's get us up to that 1.5 million. Right. That would be fabulous. And Mike, how about you? What kinds of nonprofits do you have partiality to, or that you have supported over the years that have made a difference and touched your heart?
Oh, wow. Sarah mentioned...
Hold on.
Wait a minute.
Hold on.
Here we go.
We're getting close.
Oh my gosh.
We're getting close.
This is exciting.
1.499076. Okay, we are $24 away from a $1.5 million. No, we're a little bit more. That was my math. $800. Come on, we can do $800. Come on, guys. Okay, so back to Mike to inspire.
exciting.
Oh, yay!
All right.
Woo! Okay, and Mike, will you do the honors and turn the box?
Yeah. There we go.
Yay! Wow. This is a record. We have never, ever, ever gotten to 1.5 in less than 2 hours of Midlands Gives Day. Ever.
All right. Way to go,
That
Joanne.
is awesome.
Inspiring. Absolutely inspiring. And do we have a winner?
Not yet. We don't know. We're going to have to figure out.
Okay, so the way that it works is we will go onto the system and we will identify what gift tipped us to this 1.5 million. And once we know, it will be revealed. That will be fabulous. Another $1,000 gifts. So, Mike, some more.
Back to your question.
Back to my question.
Joanne, everything I've been involved with in this community and across the state since I've been here is in some way touches lives of people. And I just think that's an important part to be part of organizations that do that. Our mission is to inspire and build better lives in communities at Truist. And I just like to be involved with organizations that do in fact do that. And the Community Foundation is one of those. United Way is clearly one of those. And many that will be receiving gifts today all do that in some form or fashion in our community. That's what makes this place great.
Which is wonderful. Well, I am now going to toss it back after your inspiring words to Aaron Johnson for a special guest.
Yes, we are going to chat with Jennifer again from Dream Riders. And I appreciate you hopping back on. It was kind of last minute, what? And I just called you back up and said, Jennifer, get back on. Come back up with me.
You did. I was just walking out the door to go feed horses.
Yeah. And I don't know, Jennifer, if you had a chance to check your email yet.
I did not, no.
Okay, well, this is exciting because we announced it, but I know you were busy because you got a whole bunch of stuff to do and animals to take care of and family and everything else. But have you heard of our Cheerful Giver before?
I have.
Okay, so yes. Cheerful Giver, and has Cheerful Giver given to you, your organization before?
They have. They just they did a matching gift for us.
Isn't that lovely? So they provided a match for you all. And the Cheerful Giver also did something just this last hour where any nonprofit that participated in the last 10 years, and it's a nonprofit they've also given to before, they're offering that nonprofit an additional gift. And Dream Riders was just awarded $10,000.
No. That's insane.
Isn't it?
You got to be kidding me.
Yes. No, I'm not. Isn't that exciting?
That is very exciting.
Yeah. And did you tell me your goal was 10,000?
It's 20,000.
20. You're halfway there. Yay!
But we already had a 10,000. Well, with the Cheerful Giver that gave us the match, we already had a $12,500 matching gift. So God is good.
That's right, isn't it? All the time. So I'm excited for you all. And so maybe you can go in there and up that, up your goal for the day.
I guess so. I guess we have lots of plans in store for this year.
You do. You're going to keep doing big things. I'm excited for you all and keep doing the incredible work you're doing.
Wow. Well, I'm glad I didn't make it down to feed the horses yet.
That's right. Good. I'm so glad I was able to catch you.
Yep. I'll get that email when I get down there because I'm at my house right now, so I don't disturb my special needs brother getting ready for his day program. And emails are down there.
Okay. Well, I will let you go so you can go on with the rest of your day, and hopefully it'll help engage your other donors for them to be just equally as generous, whatever that means for them. So thank you for hopping on with me again.
Well, I just want to thank the Cheerful Giver. That's just huge. I can't even imagine. Thank you.
You're very welcome. We'll make sure we pass that along to them. And we will be in touch again soon. I hope you have the best of luck today. And we're going to
Perfect.
toss back
We
over to
appreciate it.
Joanne.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Toss back over to Joanne and the folks with Truist Bank.
So again, Midlands Gives is all about celebration and surprises, and that's what Truist is doing with the milestones, that as we achieve different milestones, thanks to the generosity and warm and big hearts of Mike, Sarah, and the rest of your team, we are so grateful for all that you have done all these years for so many organizations. So last words that you'd like to share, inspiring people to give before we sign off?
You know, one of my favorite words is gratitude. And obviously we all need to express a lot of gratitude today for what this is doing for our community. And the other favorite word is joy. I mean, this is going to be a joyful day in the Midlands.
It will be a joyful
Absolutely.
day. Sarah?
I second that. I'm grateful for you, Joanne, and for everything that Central Carolina Community Foundation is doing for our community.
Thank you. And again, thank you for your testimonies, because had you not endorsed Midlands Gives when it launched, we wouldn't be doing this today. So thank you, Mike. And we'll be back. And we are back. And I'm now throwing it back to Erin to talk to some nonprofits.
We have so much going on this morning. It's been an exciting day already. I mean, the sun just came up a little bit ago, and we already had a lot happening. And now we're going to have a chance to talk with some of my really good friends. I really appreciate this group of organizations that work really around the environment and conservation. And so we just had a whole bunch of stuff. We had Dominion announce some of their Daybreak prizes. We had Truist do their milestone prizes. We've had we talked with our animal nonprofits and gave away some a couple of Cheerful Giver grants or donations. And so now we're going to chat with some folks. We have, I think somebody's camera might not be on just yet. So if you can turn your camera on. We have Mary from the Palmetto Trail. Is that right?
That's right.
Good morning. Stuart from Hungry Land Trust.
Good morning.
And Matt from Riverbank Zoo and Garden. I think Matt's having trouble with his camera and his audio. You might need to reconnect, Matt. Hop out of the room and come back in. And then John from Conservation Voters of South Carolina Education Fund. Is that right?
Yep. Hey, good morning.
Good morning. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a minute just to go sort of around the virtual room. So I want to make sure each of you have an opportunity to tell us about your organization, what your mission is, and really sort of what you're working on, what your priorities are. And really, if you want to tell us too about the impact you're making in the Midlands, that would be great as well. So we're going to start with Mary from Palmetto Trail.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Palmetto Trail is South Carolina's crust-state trail system, but here in the Midlands, exciting projects. We're currently connecting Capitol Passage on both ends, where we're able to walk through the coast. We're connecting 26 miles from the Capital City Passage to our Watery Passage, and that'll be complete in December. And then on the other direction from the Riverwalk, we're heading up to the dam and then all the way to Newberry. So the Midland is pretty special because of connectivity we're able to do, and the Midland will now have all of these connectors and all to the upstate. So we're pretty proud that we're able to have a trail system to the Midland region where people can get out, recreate, enjoy trails with their family, and just enjoy the cultural resources that the Midland region offers our communities. So that's what we're doing here in Midlands. We're pretty excited.
So, just make sure we remind everybody. So this is open access trails, right? Like anybody can get on the trail, right?
This is open every day of the year. It is free. It is in the Midlands region. It's pretty flat. So I would say that walking or hiking capabilities are from the beginner to the intermediate. There's not one trail that is too difficult. And we do have two urban trails in the Midland region. That is the Capital City Passage and the Newberry Passage. So if you're a little apprehensive about going on a nature-based trail, we have two urban trails that you certainly can enjoy.
And can folks walk, ride bikes? What are the rules for being on the trail?
They can do both. All the trails in the Midland region are hiking and biking, or I call, there was a question, Aaron, what type of shoes should I wear in the Midland region? And I'm going to tell you, hiking sort of can sound like a barrier, like you really have to be, an outdoors person. But in the Midland region, a good sneaker will be able to get you on any of our trails in the Midland region. They're really, really accessible, and they're really, for everyone to enjoy: hiking, biking, walking.
That's right. I appreciate that. And we're going to come and chat with you a little bit more about that later, about some of your other work. So thank you for sharing that. It's a real treasure that we have with the Palmetto Trail. And I don't think we realize it's in our backyard, literally in our backyards, right? So being able to access that is huge. So thank you, Mary. Stuart, let's chat a little bit about Congaree Land Trust. Disclosure, we work a lot with Congaree Land Trust, and I think it was a little bit complicated when I first learned about it. So can you make it simple for the folks who are watching? What is it that you all do?
I'll do my best. So we work in the area of land conservation throughout the Midlands and beyond, about 15 counties in South Carolina at this point. And you know what, we're working to find balance, if you will. You can't open the paper or read or hear the news without hearing of more people moving to South Carolina, and who blames them. It's a beautiful state. It's a great place to live, and more companies are coming here. Day after day, we're hearing about new industry, new commerce coming in. And so it really is about finding the balance between our working lands, our green spaces, our farms, forests, those recreational areas, whether they're private or public. Finding that balance to make sure that we have those natural resources that we need, that we can enjoy, and that we all benefit from: clean air, clean water, beautiful view sheds, and all those other services that our environment provides to us. So we're about protecting those lands. We work with private landowners as well as cities and counties to protect lands. And to date, we're 31 years old this year. We've protected over 90,000 acres in our area. And a lot of those are private lands that some of them do have some public access. And then, of course, last year, as you know, we protected 300 and I believe 50 acres approximately in Lee County, and added that to Lee State Park for public use. So just trying to find that balance, keep our state green and beautiful as it is, and help everybody enjoy the outdoors.
That's right. So you guys have really neat partnerships oftentimes with state government as well, to be able to work with them when you talk about keeping our state green. I think that we sometimes take that for granted. If you're from sort of South Carolina in the South, you're so used to green space and being outside and nature. And that's why a lot of people want to move here, right? And a lot of industry wants to come here.
It is
we
why
have
they
so
want to
many
move
natural
here. And
resources.
we have a very large natural resource-based economy, so it's also important to protect these lands for economic reasons as well. Whether it's timber or agriculture or tourism, those all play key roles in our economy.
That's right. And so you guys do some really wonderful things, and not only with individual landowners, but also companies and stuff, to be able to ensure that South Carolina kind of keeps its character, right? And some of the reasons that we all are here. So thank you for that. We'll circle back to you here in a little bit as well. Let's chat with John from Conservation Voters of South Carolina. Tell us a little bit about what it is that you all do.
So Conservation Voters of South Carolina, we kind of have a unique space in the environmental movement. Our job is really to make sure that we work with citizens, we work with community members, and maximize their participation in the public policy decisions that are made at the state and local levels, that relate to our environment, our natural resources. So Stuart's out there doing the land protection. We're working with the community members to make sure that our decision makers are aware of all of the needs for land protection. So whether it's local funding, state funding, we're out there trying to get folks involved in that process so that they can have their voices heard, have their stories heard, and we can get more resources, more attention, and basically more local and state decision maker support for these conservation efforts. We do that through educational tools, regional projects, a lot of partnership and coalition building, and really touch on all of kind of the core environmental areas. So we're doing some really innovative land protection projects that deal with the intersection between historic preservation, cultural preservation, and land protection. We're doing work to try and improve drinking water quality throughout the state, particularly in rural communities. And we're doing work to um, increase support for clean energy so that we can have both a healthy air, a healthy climate, and jobs and lower power bills all at the same time.
Well, that's a whole lot. That's not a small task. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like your work really kind of is nonpartisan, like it spans sort of the political spectrum.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I often say in South Carolina, clean water to drink, clean air to breathe, going outside to protected landscapes, it's not a Republican value or a Democratic value, it's a South Carolina value. And we're able to find broad support from all parts of the political, from urban communities, from rural communities. I mean, people want to have a place to go and experience the outdoors. People want to drink clean water and breathe clean air. And so ultimately, I mean, as Stuart was saying, it's not just a public health thing. It's just not an economic thing. I mean, all of these things are intimately intertwined, and that's how we're able to build and bring such strong bipartisan cross-sector support to the environment in South Carolina.
That's great. Thank you. So we certainly not last but not least, we all are very familiar with one of our biggest assets in the Midlands, which is Riverbank Zoo and Garden, and we have Matt here with us. So tell us a little bit about the zoo if folks don't maybe know about it. What are some of the things you have going on? And you know, I really want to mention the fact that you guys, it's more than just about visitors going and visiting the zoo. You all do so much more than just being a tourist attraction. And tell us a little bit about that as well. Uh-oh, I can't hear you, Matt. You're muted, bud.
You know, one of the things about the zoo that's been fabulous are the botanical gardens that I don't think a lot of folks know about, and the educational programs in schools. Matt, is your microphone working now?
There we go. I got you guys now. Okay. Now we're good to go. I think all the animals have stopped messing with my computer, and we can make this work. Yes, just a bunch of things going on. To start with, as you just mentioned, yeah, the botanical gardens on the other side are flourishing. Everything's starting blooming. We just did our wine tasting there Friday night, and it was really decorated up nice and glorious. It's a great venue that people don't really think of when they think of the zoo. And the Waterfall Junction back open, that's really exciting to kids. But yes, on the zoo side, we really attempt to do more than just be someplace for somewhere for some people to come and look at animals. That's, you know, a benefit of it, but we're really all about keeping these animals in check and really working on population, conservation, animal care, and just helping species flourish. I mean, we always say our mission is creating connections to inspire actions which will impact conservation. So yes, we are using our money to feed these animals, to train these animals, but we are going through so many new programs. We've recently hatched 2 critically endangered birds, which will help with our species survival plans, which is in-care animals. We basically keep those populations sustained and genetically diverse. We are doing everything to go as green as possible. We have actually replaced all drinking straws with a quick biodegradable version made out of oyster shells that have been recycled. And we have bird-friendly coffee, which I didn't know was a thing before I started working here. But yes, we have done everything to protect our animals. So what we like to do is just bring attention to these guys. And every visitor who comes to Riverbank Zoo, your money from your ticket goes to animal conservation, but also we hope to teach you a lesson, just little things you can do at home to sustain the environment, to go greener, and to really just help humans and the environment and the wildlife around us just all kind of coexist as one. And basically, teaching about these animals is what we really love because we consider them other family members. We have our human family here, and the animals to us are family as well. So to us, it's not about putting them on display. It's about really helping them thrive, expanding their lifespan, and allowing people to just see the phenomenal activities day to day that our residents partake in.
Well, thank you. So you all sort of, like I said, you're sitting in our sort of environment and conservation bucket here together. So what I'd love to have an opportunity is for us to have a real discussion around what are sort of the pressing issues that are facing your organizations and the issue of conservation and the environment. What's on the horizon right now that we really need to be paying attention to for the next year or so here in the Midlands? And anyone can start, but Stuart, do you want to start?
Sure. I think from our perspective in land conservation, it really is about kind of staying ahead of the growth that we're seeing in South Carolina. The governor set high goals for additional conservation in the state. The president's done so nationally, and so there's a large call to action for the land trust community and the conservation community to expand land protection, to find balance with commerce, with population growth, and with ever-changing climate. So I think that's it's a significant task to undertake, and in our world and certainly at Congaree Land Trust, we have just vast opportunities. We have a great pipeline of projects ahead of us, and so part of our need is just to grow our staff and our land protection staff, so we can take on more projects, because there's great opportunity out here for us. And I think that we have a great conservation community that works well, collaborates well together, and we can get it done.
Can I piggyback onto what Stuart said? So the governor's actually called for doubling the amount of protected land in South Carolina. That's an additional 3 million acres of land and water that the conservation community and the state hopefully will be working collaboratively together to try and protect. And I think that's going to require a lot of collaboration. That's going to require, frankly, a lot of state, local, private dollars to achieve those goals. One of the things that CVSC is looking at